Hello and welcome to another episode of Disney Dust. It's Disney Dwayne here, and I'm really excited to talk about Disney Adventure, which is, to me, I'm going to delve into some of Singapore history and Disney a little bit. To me, is Singapore finally getting a Disney park in the form of a cruise ship. And this ship is set to have a 5-year contract in Singapore. So it's going to be the home base. It is Disney's newest ship, also the largest ship ever. And Singapore has specially built a new sort of a harbor area. It's called the Marina Bay Cruise Center, and that's going to be the home for the Disney Adventure. Yes, Singapore finally gets a park in a sense, because this is a different concept. It is a ship, unlike any other Disney cruise ship. It is going to have many Disney firsts. It's going to be a unique experience. We'll get into how different this ship is in just a bit. But first of all, just so you know, a little bit about Singapore history, and this is the spin I'm going to give, which many other videos probably wouldn't, is that sometime in 1994, they were also, the government, Singapore government and Disney were discussing making a Disneyland in Singapore. And this was before Hong Kong even happened. And basically, an area of 300 hectares was reserved somewhere between the Yio Chu Kang and Kah Tip MRT stations for Disneyland, which was going to be 70 hectares in the first phase. Anyhow, in a nutshell, the plans fell through because the Singapore government didn't want to put a stake into the investment, and so they looked at Hong Kong instead. But later on, Disney was reported to have looked at another site where Universal Studios Singapore is right now, but it was cited as too small. And they also looked at the Marina East area in hopes of making a Disneyland park. But ironically, this is now Marina Bay Sands, and we have a ship that just could be very similar to a park. And this is now in collaboration with the Singapore Tourism Board. So let me get into more details here. Scrolling down here on my notes, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what else the ship entails. So it's a 3 to 4 night itinerary. Okay, at first I thought it was 3 to 4 days, which if it were, it would make up 7 days in a week. So that rotation could happen well within a week, but it is 3 to 4 nights. So that means it's a 4-day, 5-day cruise, depending on which one you take. And how much it's going to cost hasn't been set just yet, but also, no tour agents should be able to sort of promise secure bookings for you. So don't accept any of that just yet. I'm going to be getting my hands into also hopefully getting into settling some bookings with a tour agency. So stay tuned for more details. But in the meantime, the Disney Cruise Instagram Singapore does say that they are collaborating with Klook, or some people know it as Klook, Klook, which is where you get your tickets for Hong Kong as well. And they're just generally easy to do, right? And official in a sense. So Klook is looking into collaborating on bookings. So that's interesting to know. This is the biggest ship because it will have 6,700 passengers and 200 and 500 crew members, which is a very dense ratio of staff per customer. Also, finally, some Southeast Asian cuisine is going to, pop up on deck, and it's all going to be quite amazing. I mean, we know that Singapore, as an audience in general, it's targeting Singaporeans, of course. It's unlikely anyone want to fly down all the way for a 4-night, 3-night cruise just as yet, because the itinerary seems to be that the cruise ship is the destination in itself, and the journey, well, maybe later on there'll be other ports, like in Penang or Hong Kong or Japan even, or Shanghai. It's a bit of a travel, but we will see. But for now, it's looking like the ship itself is a destination because there's so much to explore on it. Okay, here's what's different. There is exclusive concierge services and exclusive zones for those who pay extra. And we all know Singaporeans, there is money in this country and people can afford to do that. And so they might just do that for their private indoor lounge, an expansive sun deck with a pool and whirlpools as well, high-end shopping venues, as well as dedicated spa and fitness facilities. So this is just for the people who pay for these exclusive areas. It sounds like there's a lot of space on this ship. What's interesting was that this ship was the first ship that Disney bought that wasn't actually meant to be a Disney ship. So 70% of this was completed already when it was acquired, but it's the first time it's happened for a Disney ship, and nonetheless, the theming on this ship is stronger than ever before. I've been on 2 previous ships, and I mean, theming is great, but this one, the whole zone, and there's 7 zones, so the theming is going to be very, very, very strong, and there are 7 theme lands, just like a treasure map for an adventure of a lifetime, with a promised unique Disney experience, right? So let's get into some of the themes and the zones that are here. It's all going to be starting at the Disney Imagination Garden, which is the heart of the ship, and the entry to the ship will be inspired by 100 years of heroic and heartwarming Disney adventures. It will be an open-air performance venue as well, featuring a lush garden and elements reminiscent of an enchanted valley. Now, I don't think we've seen a garden on a Disney cruise ship just yet, so this is very exciting. It'll also feature characters from Moana on the high seas to Mowgli in the jungle. Now, Moana is like Hawaii is very similar to that sort of tropical feel, to Singapore, and so with the sand and everything. So this is going to be very interesting. Moana being one of the IPs, as well as Jungle Book, Singapore being a jungle. The second zone is Disney Discovery Reef. And this is more for the sort of the IP that's more aquatic, right? So you've got the Little Mermaid, you've got Lilo and Stitch, another Hawaiian sort of reference. Finding Nemo, you've got Luca. So this will be full of these characters and theming, hopefully. And then what's very exciting is we also have a third zone, which is a city in itself, which Singapore is as well. San Francisco Street. This will be more family entertainment area with interactive games and activities, and there's shops. Cinemas are also more themed around the world of Big Hero 6 here. Now, what's special about the Disney Cruise cinemas is that if there are any new releases that are released, they go directly on board the ship. So if you're on the ship at any one point in time, a new release is on, you get to see it free of charge. Very special. There's the fourth zone, which is Wayfinder Bay. And this is the ship's pool area. Wayfinder Bay is like an open-air poolside retreat with panoramic sea views and Pacific Islands theme. So that's exciting. Hopefully, there are also going to be some interesting rides on the top. Some of the other ships has the sort of aqua drop. You kind of, the platform below you falls, and then you kind of slide down a transparent tube that sticks over the edge. So it's all very exciting. I'm sure this cruise ship will have something even more close to a bigger ride, sort of, right? All right, moving on to the fifth sort of section, Town Square. It's themed to Disney royals, so this area will probably include probably the princesses, Cinderella, Snow White, Rapunzel, all of that. Lounges, cafes, restaurants will follow, entertainment venues, and so this is where the princesses will thrive. So Town Square, maybe much like Main Street, right? The sixth landing section is Marvel's Landing. Of course, every Disney cruise ship has a Marvel section. This will be exciting for those of you into the MCU. It will feature all new attractions and experiences that showcase imaginative representations of their guests' favorite superheroes. So, Marvel MCU is continuing. It will stay strong, and these adventures will continue. And the last place, of course, is Toy Story Place, an interactive playland with themed food venues and water play areas. Now, speaking of children and toy areas, of course, every Disney cruise ship has 3 different sections for kids. From the 3 to 10-year-olds, that's the Oceanus Club. Then for the 11 to 14s, Edge. And for the 14 to 17s, Vibe. So the 14-year-olds get to choose where they want to go. And adults are not allowed into these sections, so it's like sometimes I want to go in because I want to see what it's about. However, I think Vibe opens up sometimes to non-kids. There are board games there, fun stuff to do. All right, so moving on. I think I've just only got a bit more to cover. So Disney and Singapore is another thing, right? There's a relationship. I think I might make a separate video on that. But all in all, this is for 5 years. It's going to be really exciting. That map that they've shown, have a closer look. It is unlike any other map I've seen of a ship. So I will be here to tell you a bit more as it goes along, and from my perspective as a Singaporean. And let me know in the comments what you think of the Disney adventure. All right, till the next one, have a good magical day, and don't forget to subscribe and give this a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Till the next one, bye.